So obviously I was shocked, first of all, by our failure to prevent it, by the scale of it. But in terms of the fact that this is what they were doing, this is what they were planning, that I wasn't shocked, in the sense that I'm on record now, and my co-writer, Adi Schwartz of The War of Return, we're on record now with essays, with lectures for years now, going to European capitals. I was in Ottawa as well during the years, saying, look, the ideology of the people of Gaza, and Palestinians in general, is from the river to the sea. It's their ideology. We might like it, we might not like it. We can't pretend that it's not. As you know, in the book, I invented a word called West-plaining. It is when Western journalists and diplomats explain away what Palestinians have just inconveniently said. Because to the credit of Palestinians, as I said, on this issue, they don't lie. So I would be in all these capitals that are funding Palestinianism through UNRWA mostly, and I would tell them, look, this is their ideology. So you are guaranteed that every dollar that you give them will go to weaponizing Gaza in order to liberate, from their perspective, Palestine from the river to the sea. I told them they're not interested in turning Gaza into the Dubai of the Levant. And people often, you know, there's one post I wrote a few months ago was about this one idea that I find meets a complete block. And the post was called Palestinians Are Adults. And this is the one idea that I find like I can't get through. This notion that there's some charity basket case, always incapable, always need help. Now, I always said it's not true, but certainly after October 7th, can we agree that October 7th required years of massive investment of infrastructure, weaponizing the entire landscape of Gaza? It required strategy, economic and financial planning, a vision, a very perverse vision, but a vision. These are not some incapable people. Can we be done with the poor Palestinians, the charity basket case? They are a perfectly capable people with terrible priorities. So they have prioritized first trying to prevent and then to undo the existence of a Jewish state over doing anything that is productive. So I would say, look, every dollar that you, Canada, every European country gives, or America, to the Palestinians is guaranteed to be used to weaponize Gaza for the purpose of liberating Palestine. And so if you want to make sure that your money is well spent, first make sure that this is not their ideology, and only then give them the money. But no, there's like, no, we're just going to give the money. And the other thing also, that when The War of Return was translated into English, at first we just had a translation. But then we realized that the Hebrew book and the English book have to be different. For example, the chapter on 1948 in the Hebrew book is very laconic. We go through the stages of the war, why refugees were created, and those stages, very laconic. But we realized that writing for an English-speaking audience, I don't think I'm caricaturing it too much, that by now we have a lot of people who think that the war of Israel's independence looked like this. There was the peaceful land of Palestine filled with peace-loving peasants minding their own business. Then came the evil Zionists, who are white European settler colonialists, who already in 1948 had F-15s and tanks. And they proceeded to invade and take over the peaceful land of Palestine, ethnically cleansing its minding their own business farmers. Now, I'm kind of caricaturing it, but I genuinely think this is where a lot of people are. They think that's what happened. So Adi and I realized that we need to describe what the war in 1948 looked like, why refugees were created in that war, how brutal it was, So we decided to include a lot of graphic details, which at the time, sometimes people told me that we were crazy. And one of those details, for example, was that as they would attack convoys and burn the people and shoot on them when they were fleeing the fire and then mutilating their burnt bodies, they took pictures. And the pictures were then sold in the markets of the old city. And we included that detail because it really gave, but then after October 7th, what we realized is the GoPro cameras were merely an updated technology, but the same drive, it's the same one.